After 10 rounds of electrifying drama, unexpected resurgences, and championship-shaking twists, the 2025 MotoGP Paddock rolled into Sachsenring, Marc Marquez's personal coliseum for round 11, with history, injuries, and championship pressure. All weighing in Friday's action didn't just set lap times, it ignited narratives that could shape the second half of the season. And while all eyes were locked on the reigning king of Sachsenring, it wasn't Marquez who stole the spotlight by sunset. Let's break down what really happened on German soil. From surprise heroes and recovery battles to strategic tire calls and brewing pressure inside Ducati, the morning sun hadn't even warmed the tarmac when Marc Marquez threw down the gauntlet. With a clinical early session assault, the championship leader posted a 1-minute 20.37 lap time in the opening phase of FP1, a time no one could beat. For the remaining 40 minutes, Marquez was immediately in control. His pace on used medium tires nearly race distance worthy, completing 24 laps and never surrendering the top spot. This wasn't just a statement, it was an omen behind him. Jack Miller raised eyebrows on the Premac Yamaha, closing the gap to just 0.109 seconds. Late in the session, with a push on the medium rear, it marked a crucial outing for the Aussie, whose season has swung between brilliance and invisibility. Aprilia's Marco Bezzecchi continued his momentum with a strong P3, also using fresh rubber. But perhaps the most significant detail wasn't at the top of the sheet. It was buried down in 14th place. Alex Marquez, second in the championship, returned just days after fracturing his left hand in Assen during a tangle with Pedro Acosta. Though medically cleared to ride, he approached FP1 cautiously, saying, "I have no goals, no objectives, just FP1 later, we'll check again and review. I feel fit to ride, but I'll be realistic if the pain shows up." His lap time, nearly a full second off the pace, reflected both the physical limitation and perhaps the mental toll of riding injured at the tightest track on the calendar. But as Friday wore on, the pecking order shifted dramatically in the 1-hour practice session, where only the top 10 would automatically advance to Q2. VR46 Ducati rider Fabio Di Giannantonio shattered expectations and the lap record with a stunning 1-minute 19.071. It was the fastest MotoGP lap ever seen at Sachsenring. Using Marc Marquez as a visual marker, DJ trailed the factory Ducati and executed a flawless final sector to snatch the top spot by more than 3/10. His perfect blend of precision and aggression left the paddock stunned. One VR46 engineer told the media that lap was special. He used Marc's data to perfection. Behind him, the story got even more intriguing. Alex Marquez, still nursing his injured hand, dug deep and clocked a 1-minute 19.408, good enough for second place, from 14th in FP1 to just a whisker behind Di Giannantonio. It was a remarkable comeback. His physical pain hadn't disappeared, but his mental edge had returned. Then came Marc Marquez, third fastest at 0.390 off the top. Though he led large portions of the session and punched in 2 quick laps midway through at 1-minute 19.486 and 1-minute 19.461, the number 93 rider opted not to use a soft rear in the closing minutes. Instead, he switched to a medium and appeared to shift his focus toward long-run consistency rather than outright headline speed. It was a deliberate move and possibly a strategic one. "We're here to win the weekend, not just the session," Marquez quipped to DAZN after practice. But losing the top spot at Sachsenring did not go unnoticed. Marquez has an emotional, tactical, and historical grip on this track. From 2013 to 2021, he won here every single time on a Honda. Wet or dry, in pain or in form, and now with a title-leading GP25 Ducati in hand. Friday offered a rare glimpse of vulnerability. Despite his calm exterior and steady pace, rivals both inside and outside the Ducati stable clearly found gains. Di Giannantonio's Record lap wasn't luck, it was a calculated attack. Alex Marquez defied injury and expectation, even Yamaha's Fabio. Quartararo punched in the fourth fastest time, showing signs of life from the Japanese factory. And there was one subtle yet symbolic moment, a yellow flag caused by Furman Aldeguer's crash saw Marquez run wide at turn 1. It wasn't counted as a crash and he wasn't penalized, but it underlined that Sachsenring won't hand him this win for free. He's being pushed and everyone knows it. There's no debate, DJ owned the day. The GP25 underneath him continues to prove that. When confidence and conditions align, the VR46 rider has top-tier speed. His ability to track Marquez and then outperform him cleanly suggests he's not just fast in Q2, he's a serious podium contender. I prefer the dry Alex said about Sachsenring because in the wet, you get weird crashes. It was a calculated risk to ride it all, and the reward was second in practice. He may be hurting, but the fight is clearly still alive. With a strong Q2, he could be dangerous on Sunday. Fourth in practice, just 0.453 seconds behind the fastest time. Quartararo is keeping Yamaha's flame flickering. Still on the inline for his lap, was clean, consistent, and critically under the previous lap record, fifth fastest, and the first to beat Marquez's early session benchmark. Acosta keeps stacking up solid weekends. The KTM rider is still searching for a premier class win, but his pace suggests Sachsenring could be a real shot. Sixth in practice with a GP24, Morbidelli continues to rebuild his career. Quiet but effective Johann Zarco remains the fastest Honda rider, barely clinging to the top 12, while Joan Mir's 15th and Luca Marini's 18th place is highlight. The mountain Honda still has to climb. The LCR bike looked slightly more agile at this tighter circuit, but one-lap pace remains shaky. Zarco's crash late in practice ended any cue to hopes, and his body language said it all. "I wanted more," he said, before limping back to the LCR box for Yamaha. Quartararo offered hope, but Alex Rins struggled badly. His time was over 1.5 seconds off the best lap, and he finished just ahead of Aprilia test rider Lorenzo Savador. It's becoming clear that if Yamaha is going to improve, Quartararo alone will carry the burden. One name notably absent from Friday's spotlight was Francesco Bagnaia, though he made it into Q2 with a 1-minute 19.698 lap good for 9th in practice. The contrast between him and Marquez continues to grow, not just in lap time, but in aura. The two-time champion's discomfort is seeping into his quotes as Enzo Ferrari used to say, "Success is not forgiven everything, but success is forgiven Pecco." Admitted to Sky he's frustrated with the criticism in Italy, even more so as his teammate dominates the championship. The psychological strain is mounting, and Sachsenring is unlikely to offer relief unless he finds another gear. Those in Q1 include Vinos, Zarco, Mir Aldeguer, Oliveira, and Marini. Maverick Vinyls in particular was just 0.05 seconds off Binder's Q2 time, but was compromised by yellow flags in the final corner, with wet weather potentially affecting Saturday's qualifying and Sunday's race. Sachsenring could yet deliver more chaos. If it rains, tire strategy, traction control, sensitivity, and rider bravery will define the results and perhaps open the door to even more surprises. But for now, Friday belongs to Fabio Di Giannantonio, the surprise hero who conquered Marc Marquez's backyard with record-breaking confidence. As Marc himself put it after the session, "It's not about leading every session, it's about putting everything together." On Sunday, he may still be the man to beat, but on Friday, someone else dared to lead.